there, I'm Kathryn Lang, host of Growing Hope, and you can learn more about me and my program over at my website, www.kathrynlang.com. But today I'm here to talk to you about the Liebster Award. The Liebster Award is an award given or a challenge given from one blogger to another, and in the challenge we ask 11 questions that are our questions, our random questions, to 5 bloggers that we want to encourage readers to learn more about, or that we want to learn more about ourselves. I was challenged by Constance Smith over at the foodiearmywife.com, and this was several weeks ago. Although I have been meaning to follow through and already knew who I was going to challenge as well, it was only recently that one of my challengees, Bo, reminded me that I had left him hanging. So it was time for me to dig in and answer the 11 questions that Constance sent to me. The first one is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? And I have to say that I'm quite content where I live. Although I would love to visit Australia and I would love to visit Scotland, I'm happy because we live in a very secluded location on a creek, so I get the running water, I get the wildlife, I get the peace and quiet, but we're close enough to the larger cities in the state that we're just a drive away, and we're able to interact and connect with the folks in those larger cities while still maintaining that nice secluded lifestyle that I've always dreamed of having. If you became a millionaire overnight, what would you do with the money? Believe it or not, I would buy more land. I would love to be able to have horses so that people could come over and we could go riding. I would love to expand the location so that we could have a fishing pond, but that it would be large enough that we could do water sports or go swimming in it. So my big thing would be to share. Of course, I would pay off all of our debt, pay off the debt of my family members, and put some money back for trust to be able to share with folks who are pursuing their dreams, because I think it's important that we give back, but that we also find a way to help people discover their uniqueness and pursue that. Where's the farthest you've ever been from home? Well, I am not a traveler. I've been across the Mason-Dixon line twice in my life. Now, I have been to most of the southern states, but as far as long-distance travel, that's just not something I've gotten to do yet. But I have been to Canada. I went up there for my brother and my sister-in-law's wedding, so I have been out of the country once. Have you ever won a trophy? Yes, recently I won the Celty, first ever Celty fiction story contest for a story I wrote about Moundville. And now I am happy to be the executive director of the Southeastern Literary Tourism Initiative, and we encourage writers to create stories that will draw tourists to the location. And we just announced our 2014 contest. So if you like to write short stories, or you know somebody that has a way of writing short stories, this year's story has to feature the Mobile Bay area in Mobile, Alabama. It has to be under 2,000 words, and you can learn more at celty.org. Are you more like your mother or your father? Well, this is a trick question because it really depends on who you ask. If you ask the people that know my dad or that knew my dad growing up, they'll tell you that I'm more like my dad. But if you ask the people that knew my mom, they'll tell you that I am more like she was. I like to say that I'm a really good mix. If you were to write a novel, what would it be about? Well, here is where Constance really threw me for a loop, because she knows that I write, and I'm actually in the middle of writing a prequel to a series that I'm doing called the Big Springs Novels. And you can get Run and Watch already. The newest novels will be out later this year. But Constance said I couldn't tell you about my existing novels. I have to tell you about one that I would like to write. And I'm going to give a nod to my friend Stephen Dorning, who I will be mentioning later, because I like his voice and I like the way he mixes genre. I would like to be able to write a novel that created a whole new world, that kind of mixed a little bit of fantasy and history in a unique way. So that would probably be what my novel would be about. What was the last national park you visited? That would be Bankhead National Forest in Winston County, Alabama. It is near, Camp McDowell is located within Bankhead National Forest. and it is still one of my all-time favorite places to go. If you had to do it again, what would you study in school, high school or college? And I can say that I was really blessed in my guidance throughout school. So I attended school to further my education, but really wasn't looking at utilizing the degree to make a difference, if that makes sense. I got the education, I got the degree, but then I molded that information into the pursuit of my passion and my purpose, as opposed to letting the degree dictate for me. So I was very blessed. The only thing that I think I would have done differently is I met so many people from different parts of the world that I could have really taken advantage of those connections and those relationships and visited areas that I probably wouldn't have been able to visit otherwise. And that would have been, then I could say I've been to more places in that last question. The strangest food you have ever eaten, for me, it would have to be alligator. And simply because I have an unnatural fear of alligators eating me. So it was really odd for me to taste. If you had the ability, and no, it doesn't taste like chicken. At least it didn't for me. If you had the ability to see 24 hours into the future, would you? Absolutely not. You know, I've got enough on my plate just dealing with what's in front of me. Knowing what's ahead of me could really drive me over the edge. And finally, number 11, what is your earliest memory? And I will say that my earliest memory is when I was about 3 or 4, my mom hired a new babysitter, and I didn't like the new babysitter. So when she got ready to go to work, I climbed into the back seat of her car and I hid in the back seat hoping to escape. But unfortunately for me, she had to put something in the back seat and caught me, and I was forced to stay with the babysitter that I didn't like. So those are my 11 questions, and now I get to challenge some more bloggers. Technically, the Liebster Award is given to 5 bloggers with 3,000 followers or less, but I was not real sure how to know what is considered a follower. Is it a unique visit? So I'm just going to tell you about 5 blogs that I really enjoy, and technically I'm going to tell you about a 6th as well. The first, Bo Williams, Bo, Nicole, Abby, Stephen, Natalie, and Melanie is my bonus blogger. You can go over to my website. You can find links to their website, and I will also tell you in the links there why it is that I chose each of these bloggers. And the bloggers, when you hear this challenge, you can get to the questions. They're posted as well on my website. So there is my Liebster Award. There is my challenge. And I hope that you will take a little bit of time not only to visit each of these blogs that I've mentioned, but to visit the foodiearmywife.com, FODIEARMYWIFE.com, because Constance was really a wonderful person to continue to push me beyond where I am to where she knows that I want to go. So I want to thank you for visiting with me during this time. I am Kathryn Lang. I am the host of Growing Hope, and I hope you'll visit with me some more either on my website or at my radio program on Blog Talk Radio Monday mornings, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with the CWA radio programming. Thank you so much. Be blessed and be a blessing.